Profiles encourage. I'll have my child back. The Sojourner Truth Story. In the 19th century, women were not expected to make speeches in public. Most people felt that was a job for men. Because of prejudice, most people also refused to listen to black speakers. Being a black woman and former slave, Sojourner Truth had a triple handicap to overcome. Her simple message delivered in a low, booming voice was sincere and moved her listeners. Though illiterate, this woman of indomitable character and intellect left her mark as an abolitionist and eloquent spokesperson for the women's rights movement. Born into slavery in Ulster County in upstate New York, she, like many other slaves, had watched her brothers and sisters sold away from their families. When she saw her own baby, Peter, illegally sent to Alabama into slavery, this determined woman went to court and demanded the return of her baby. The judge in Kingston Court listened to her plea and agreed with her, and soon her baby was home in New York with his mother. This was the first ever lawsuit won by a black parent.
After winning court, they tell me it was the first time a black ex-slave woman got her child back from slavery. They say it was historical. Well, I don't know about historical. I just know a baby supposed to be with his mama and a mama supposed to be with her baby. That is the way God make it, and no man supposed to come between it.
In 1853, Sojourner Truth once again moved her listeners in Akron, Ohio, which became known as her "And Aren't I a Woman" speech.
Well, children, when it has so much racket, it must have something out of kilter. And that something is the control of women and blacks by white men. The supporters of this unequal order will be in a fix pretty soon. And that man over there, that man say that women need to be helped into carriages and lift over ditches and have the best place every way. Nobody ever helped me into a carriage or over mud puddles or give me any best place. And I'm not a woman. Look at me. Look at my arms. I plow, I plant, I gather in bands, and no man could outwork me. And I is not a woman. I could work as much and eat as much as any man when I could get it. I take the lash, and I is not a woman. I bear 5 children and see all sell off as slaves. And when I cry out with a mother grief, none but God hear me. And I is not a woman. That man talking about this thing in your head, what do you call it? Intellect. Yeah, that is it. What intellect have to do with woman rights or black people rights? If my cup would hold but a pint and yours would hold a quart, would you be mean not to let me have my little half measure full? That little man in the black suit there say woman can't have as much right as men because Jesus wasn't a woman. Where did Christ the Son of Mary come from? Where did he come from? From God and a woman. Man had nothing to do with him. If the first woman God ever made was strong enough to turn the world upside down all alone, these women together ought to be able to turn it back and get it right side up again. And now that they are asking to do it, the men better let them. Obliged to you all for hearing me. Now old Sojourner have nothing more to say.
She did have much more to say. Sojourner Truth carried her message throughout this country. While living in Washington, D.C., she worked for Abraham Lincoln's Freedmen's Bureau, after which she moved to Battle Creek, Michigan, where she continued to work effortlessly for black and women's rights well into her 80s when she died November 26, 1883. We find a lot of misinformation and disinformation concerning her life, as we generally find in the telling of black history. It is said her name was Isabella Bumfree. Bumfree was a nickname given to her father. It means tall tree in Low Dutch. She, like other slaves, took the names of their masters, not their fathers. She is also made to sound Southern. When and where Sojourner Truth was born, English was her second language. She spoke Dutch until she was a teenager, and when she learned to speak English, she spoke it with a patois like we find in the Dutch Antilles today. Also, it is said she was born a slave. No one is born a slave, but some were born into slavery. This is like the statement, they took slaves from Africa. They didn't take slaves from Africa. They took human beings from Africa and forced them into slavery. You hear people say, well, we need to change the language of history. I say we need to change who is reporting our history. There's a statement that history is the propaganda of the conquering people. As long as we allow others to report our history, we will have the mentality of a conquered people. Sojourner Truth did not allow anyone or anything to conquer her. We need to take her as our example. Thank you very much for listening. For further information on this incredible woman, and to purchase the short story, I'll Have My Child Back, the Sojourner Truth Story, just follow the link below to www.hamzapublishing.net. And again, thank you.